So, part of you wants to stop chasing heroes. Is that right? Well, I think we all know a bunch of ways that people use to try to limit their chasing behavior. For example, having a budget or tracking their spending over time, or deciding up front that they won't go over this number of pulls, or maybe they have a certain method where they'll take a break after maybe like 10 pulls or 20 pulls or 50 pulls, or maybe they commit to taking a break and only coming back after a couple of hours or a day or whatever it is. So why doesn't it work? Well, what if we're actually looking at this the wrong way? What if chasing is not the problem, but a symptom of the problem? And what if the real problem is the pattern? Because what is actually going on? First, you make a promise to yourself. That's the rule that you set. And you use self-control to enforce that rule. And what happens? Well, you end up breaking your promise to yourself, or you end up breaking the rule. And then you face the consequences. Maybe you beat yourself up, you judge yourself. Oh, I messed up again. Maybe you feel frustrated, angry, sad, disappointed. Financially, maybe you really go overboard and it puts you in a difficult situation. And intuitively, maybe you start doubting yourself, you lose your confidence. There are many things that can go wrong there, where you can end up blaming yourself. But then what next? What next is, next week there's another boost. And then you say, okay, this time I'll do better. I'll try again. Maybe I'll use the same rule, or I'll put a different rule. But what doesn't change is you stay stuck in a loop where you get to be the star of the show as the punisher, the victim, and the enabler. And just feel terrible because the wheel goes around and around and around. Well, what if you stop setting yourself up to fail? And just taking a step back, what does getting this hero actually mean to you? What need sits behind that meaning? So, for example, if you want to get better at the game, maybe you want to feel a sense of achievement. Maybe you just want to keep up with the meta. Maybe there's anxiety speaking behind that you don't want to get left behind. Maybe everyone in your guild already has this hero. You just want to fit in with your guild. You crave a sense of increased belonging in a way. Maybe you just want to be able to copy their good raid boss teams. Maybe you just really like the artwork and the world is difficult. You just want to see pretty things once in a while. Maybe you have a personal connection to the hero for some reason. Or maybe it's the high of gambling. Maybe you're just spamming the roll button. What's it called? The summon button. Maybe you're spamming the summon button as a form of numbing to avoid other problems. Or what if the game and the frustration behind chasing is an outlet for other things that are not going to plan in your real life, and the game is a safe place for you to vent and get angry and express? So what is it for you? And how can you take care of those emotional needs for yourself away from summoning and chasing? If you want to keep up with the meta, this is definitely something that I've struggled with in the past. And I felt anxious that I wouldn't be able to get a high league in arena. how could I tamper down on that anxiety, or how could I take care of that just in general? And also, if I really wanted to perform well in an arena, what are the other ways that I could have done it? It doesn't have to be a new hero every week, right? So insofar as your needs in the game and outside of the game, how can you meet them for yourself? And I think if you can really look at these, and it's definitely, not a one-time job, but it's a continuous reflection and effort where you need to just look at where you are with curiosity and meet yourself where you're at with compassion. And I think if you can practice doing that, that will already go a long way in breaking that vicious cycle, because you take away the punisher, you take away the victim, you take away the enabler. I'm not saying this is easy. I'm not saying that I figured it all out, but I find that when I'm managing to connect with these things, definitely helps a bit more. Because if at the end of all of this, at the end of taking care of yourself as best as you can, if you do decide to chase, then you just do it as the freest version of yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. And you're doing it for the right reasons. So I hope that this has been helpful or interesting for you. It's definitely been an effort for me to try to be more mindful of what's going on when I engage in chasing behavior, and to identify that chasing is not the problem, and therefore it's also not the solution. But it's definitely a different kind of content than I'm used to making. So let me know if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.